Have you ever found yourself in that situation, in the middle of a conversation, where you feel like something is in the air, but you can't identify what it is? Maybe you've asked yourself, does she like me, or am I just getting my hopes up? The feeling of insecurity, of not knowing exactly what she feels, is something that many men go through, and often, this results in missed opportunities. I know how frustrating this can be because I've been there. I remember a friend who, for months, wondered how a woman really felt about him. They spent hours together, but he was never sure of anything. Until, in a moment, he began to notice something in her words that changed everything. The phrases she said, subtle but powerful, were there all the time, and he simply hadn't known how to see them. Now, imagine if you knew exactly what she thought when she said certain things. What's more, imagine if these phrases were the key to knowing if you're about to miss your chance at something incredible. This is real, and it is within your reach. In today's video, I'm going to reveal 5 phrases that a woman says when she really likes you. They are simple phrases, but they carry a much greater meaning than you might imagine. These words are the signs that, if ignored, can make you miss the chance to create a deeper bond. And I don't want you to regret not realizing it in time. It's time to understand in depth what she's really feeling and avoid falling into the trap of constant doubt. You will learn to recognize the signs that can transform your love life. Don't miss the words that could be the key to the relationship of your dreams. Let's go together. Identify these signs and stop wondering if you are wasting time. The solution is here, and it's waiting for you. Let's talk about the 5 phrases a woman says when she really likes you. But first, check if you're already signed up, because here you'll learn to identify the signs and connect better in your relationships. I feel like it's getting warmer. Imagine being in a relaxed conversation with someone. When they suddenly blurt out the phrase, I feel like it's getting warmer. For many, this may seem like just a vague comment, but for those who know how to read between the lines, this is a statement loaded with meaning. It's not about temperature or the surrounding environment. This is a subtle way of exposing emotions and creating space for the relationship to evolve. It's a sign that the connection between you is no longer casual, but something that is gaining intensity. Women have a natural talent for expressing feelings indirectly, testing how the other person reacts without exposing themselves completely. When a woman says something like this, she is proposing that you reflect on what is happening between you. This phrase, in particular, reflects a realization that the chemistry between you is becoming evident. The heat she mentions is not just physical, but emotional, and more than that, it is an invitation for you to recognize the moment and respond accordingly. Now, think about the contexts in which this phrase might appear. Maybe you're laughing together after hours of conversation, or, who knows, she said it after a more intense exchange of glances. This is a way for her to convey that she perceives something different, something that goes beyond friendship or casualness. The question is, are you paying attention to these signs? Men often ignore these messages or interpret them as something trivial, missing opportunities to strengthen the bond. An example may help to illustrate better. Imagine 2 friends who have always had a light relationship with no great intentions. One day, after a long conversation full of moments of complicity, she says this sentence with a shy smile. This is not just any provocation. She is allowing the conversation to take a more intimate turn. This is the time when she expects you to notice what is being said non-verbally. Your response to this statement can define the direction of the relationship going forward. In practice, Stoicism teaches us to live in the present moment and respond wisely to life situations. Applying this, when you hear something like I feel like it's getting hot, it's essential to be fully aware of what's happening. Don't rush to react impulsively. First, try to understand the intention behind the words and respond with clarity and empathy. Sometimes a simple question like, do you really think so? It can open up space for her to share more feelings, further consolidating the connection. Also, remember that this phrase is not only a sign of attraction, but also a sign of vulnerability. She's taking a risk by admitting that she feels something different, something that makes her excited and a little anxious. This takes courage, because no one likes to be rejected or misunderstood. Therefore, when you hear something like this, demonstrate emotional maturity. Show that you are open to this conversation and value her honesty. In the end, I feel like it's getting warmer is much more than a phrase. It's an invitation to connect on a deeper level, to explore together what's emerging between you. Maybe this means turning a friendship into something bigger or recognizing an attraction you've both been ignoring. The important thing is that you are attentive, prepared to step away from superficiality and respond in a genuine and respectful way. The truth is that these opportunities don't always appear obvious, and it's up to you to notice the signs that are beyond words. A Stoic knows that control over external circumstances is limited, but that their actions and choices are entirely their own. So when you hear a phrase like this, remember that it could be the beginning of something meaningful, if you're willing to listen and act conscientiously. You smell really good. There is something magical about the impact the senses can have on human emotions, and smell plays an essential role in this. When a woman comments, "You smell great," she's not just complimenting your scent. This phrase reveals much more than it seems at first glance. This is a clear sign that she is paying attention to you in a more intimate and personal way. Smell is one of the senses most linked to memory and emotion, and by noticing and commenting on your smell, it is creating a positive association between you and a pleasant sensation. This type of comment goes beyond a superficial observation. For her, the scent you chose reflects your personality and self-care. Perfumes and smells, in general, have the power to evoke feelings and even create deeper emotional connections. Scientific studies show that smells can influence mood and even attract people, something that goes back to our most primitive instincts. In the case of relationships, smell can be a powerful catalyst to spark interest and desire. Now, imagine the moment she says that sentence. Maybe it's at the beginning of a date, when you greet each other and she smells the fragrance you chose for the occasion. Or perhaps during a relaxed conversation, where proximity makes the smell more evident. Whatever the moment, by saying this, she is acknowledging the impact your presence has on her. This is a subtle way of expressing interest and highlighting that you are differentiating yourself from other people. From a Stoic perspective, this is a powerful reminder of the importance of self-care and how small details can influence how we are perceived by others. The Roman philosopher Seneca teaches us that we must take care of ourselves with moderation and dignity, without surrendering to excess or neglect. By choosing a perfume or taking care of your personal hygiene, you are showing respect for yourself and others. This attitude reflects self-confidence and attention to detail, characteristics that naturally attract people. Plus, the phrase "you smell great" isn't just about the scent you're wearing. It's also about what she feels when she's around you. It's as if the smell is an extension of your energy and presence. For her, this compliment is a way of saying that being by your side awakens positive emotions in her. Compliments like this are a subtle invitation to let you know that she is aware of the most personal and unique aspects of who you are. When you receive a comment like this, how do you react? Many men simply say thank you and let the moment pass unnoticed. However, this is an opportunity to strengthen the connection. Responding with something like, "I'm glad you liked it. I chose it thinking about making a good impression," can open up space for a more relaxed conversation and even reveal mutual intentions. Finally, remember that women are detail-oriented, and every compliment they give carries an intention, even if implicit. The smell, in this case, is a gateway to something more. By recognizing it, she is suggesting that she wants to continue associating that aroma with moments with you. It's a sign that she values your presence and wants to make that clear without being obvious. So don't underestimate the impact details like these can have. The perfume you choose can be the spark of a deeper connection, and the phrase "you smell great" is the starting point for something bigger. If you are willing to notice and appreciate what it really means. I really like that part of your body. When a woman says, "I really like that part of your body," she's going beyond a casual compliment. This phrase carries with it a touch of intimacy and admiration that transcends the superficial. It's not just about highlighting a physical feature. It's a subtle way to express attraction, affection, and even create a more personal connection. This specific comment reveals that she is watching you closely, focused on the details that make you unique. The body is a direct reflection of who we are, our history, efforts, and even our vulnerabilities. By choosing a specific part of your body to praise, she is showing that she appreciates something that you may not have even noticed about yourself. It could be the shape of your hands, the contour of your jaw, or even the way you carry your posture. What really matters here is the implicit message. She is connecting with you in a unique way that goes beyond the obvious. Targeted praise like this demonstrates something that Stoicism often reminds us of: the importance of valuing the present moment and the little things that make life meaningful. Marco Aurelio wrote in his Meditations that we should observe the beauty in simple things and in the uniqueness of each person. This kind of observation she makes about you reflects exactly that, a genuine recognition of something that fascinates her and that she values. This phrase also carries a layer of vulnerability. By saying something so specific, she is putting herself in an open position, hoping you understand the depth of the compliment. Men can often respond to these types of comments in a superficial or casual way, without realizing the deeper intention. However, this is an ideal time to reciprocate by showing that you recognize and appreciate her effort in connecting in this way. An interesting detail about feminine language is that it often communicates more than explicit words suggest. When she chooses to highlight a specific part of her body, it can be an invitation to deepen the emotional and perhaps even physical connection. By complimenting something she finds attractive, she is saying that she feels comfortable enough to be direct, but still maintains an air of mystery and curiosity. Now consider how you might react to this. Simply saying thank you is polite, but it can be a missed opportunity to strengthen the bond. Responding with something like, "Thanks, I never thought of that, but I'm glad you like it," opens the door to a richer, more meaningful exchange. This interaction creates space for both of you to feel valued and connected, without feeling forced. Additionally, this type of comment often signals a desire for closeness. When she says she likes something about you, she is testing how you react, trying to understand if the attraction is mutual and how you handle intimacy. It's not just about aesthetics, it's about chemistry and connection. Finally, this phrase reminds us of something fundamental about human relationships: the importance of recognizing and valuing what makes others unique. Stoicism teaches us not to seek external validation, but also to recognize the value in genuine interactions. When she gives a compliment like this, she's offering a piece of her perspective, showing how special she sees you. It is a gift that deserves to be accepted with attention and respect. So the next time you hear something like this, stop for a moment and really take in what is being said. After all, such specific compliments are not given at random. They carry intentions that, when realized, can transform a conversation into something much deeper and more memorable. Let's look for a more isolated place. There are times when words convey much more than seems at first glance. When a woman suggests that you look for a more isolated place, she is indicating something that goes beyond a simple desire for privacy. This phrase carries intentions that reflect interest, trust, and even a certain dose of vulnerability. Imagine a scenario. You are in a busy environment, perhaps a party or a bar full of energy. Between laughter, crosstalk, and the sound of loud music, she looks at you and says, "Shall we look for a more isolated place?" In situations like this, the underlying meaning is as important as the words spoken. This subtle invitation reveals that she wants a moment of exclusivity, a space where they can connect away from external distractions. It is interesting to reflect on what motivates someone to make this request. For many women, this is a clear sign that they feel comfortable in your company, that you are trustworthy, and that there is an emotional or physical connection being built there. This phrase is, in a way, a breaking of social barriers. When she suggests this change of environment, she is indicating that she values being with you on a closer, less superficial level. Historically, philosophers like the Stoics taught us to observe the intentions behind actions. Seneca, for example, defended the idea that communication between people should be clear and based on emotional honesty. When a woman suggests going somewhere more private, what she really wants is to eliminate external distractions to create an environment conducive to genuine exchange. It's an opportunity to demonstrate mindfulness and respond with the same level of sincerity. Whether it's a longer exchange of glances or the softness of the intonation of the voice, these nuances indicate the desire to transform the casual context into something more intimate. It is important, however, to understand that intimacy is not always linked to the physical aspect. It can be a moment of deeper conversation, where she feels like she can open her heart and reveal something she wouldn't share in another scenario. When you hear this phrase, the way you react also says a lot about who you are. Your response demonstrates whether you understand and respect her boundaries and intentions. A simple sure or even suggesting a quieter location shows that you are attentive to their needs and willing to create a safe environment for both of you. It's a chance to reinforce mutual trust, an essential foundation for any healthy relationship. The idea of a more isolated place can also be metaphorical. It is the search for an emotional space, where you can meet without masks, without distractions, and without the noise of the world. She wants to see who you are when all the lights and outside noises disappear. However, it is vital to be sensitive and understand whether the moment really calls for this change of scenery. The expression may vary according to the context and intention. The important thing is to interpret the situation with empathy, without forcing anything, allowing the interaction to flow naturally. In short, when she says let's look for a more secluded place, she is offering an opportunity to create something unique between you. Accepting this invitation does not just mean changing space, but entering a new dimension of complicity. What you do with this moment is up to both of you, but the basis for it to be memorable lies in your ability to listen, respect, and respond genuinely. You look really good today. This compliment may seem simple, but it carries important meaning and is a clear sign of attraction. When a woman says you look really good today, she is noticing something about you that makes her see you in a different way, whether it be your energy, posture, or even your style that day. Imagine that you are talking to her, and she says this sentence to you. It's not just a formality, but a genuine acknowledgement of something that attracted her. The compliment may be for your appearance, but it often reflects an emotional state or the confidence you convey at that moment. In Stoic principles, the perception of others should not define who we are, but it is interesting to see how this phrase can reflect the effort you make to improve as a person. If you are investing in your self-development, whether physical, emotional, or mental, this compliment could be a reflection of that. The woman notices change, evolution, and recognizes it. Instead of reacting automatically, use this moment to reflect. Don't hold on to praise as an affirmation of your worth, but as a reflection of what you are cultivating within yourself. This helps to strengthen the connection between you, without losing focus on what really matters, your authenticity and effort. When you hear this phrase, receive it with gratitude, but remember that it is not the compliment itself that defines you. It's what you do with it that can strengthen the relationship and make it deepen. So, have you ever heard about the 5 phrases? Did you know it existed? Tell me in the comments if you've been through this or know someone who has been through this situation. I'll help you there. So, my friend, now you know exactly what 5 phrases a woman says when she really likes you. We saw how each of them, however simple they may seem, carries a deep meaning. If you've been paying attention, you can now start to notice these signs in her conversations and interactions, and in doing so, you can transform the way you understand how she feels. Remember that often what she says is not just about the words, but about the intention behind them. These phrases are a subtle way for her to tell you what's going on in her heart. If you know how to listen, if you know how to identify these signs, the doors to a truer connection and a stronger relationship will open for you. I know that this topic can raise a lot of doubts and even insecurities. The fear of being misunderstood, of not living up to expectations. But by learning to read her words and gestures more clearly, you will feel much more confident. And this trust is key to any type of relationship. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever noticed these phrases being said by someone you like? Or maybe you went through something like this without realizing it. Leave your experience in the comments. I'll love reading and helping you with any questions that arise. And of course, if you like this content, don't forget to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe to the channel. There's so much more to come, and I want you to be on top of it all. See you in the next video, where we will continue the journey to understand the signs and transform our relationships. Until then.